Good morning, everyone. Welcome to FYI. For your information, I am Jurette Finance joining you this wonderful Wednesday morning. It is the 27th of July, 2022, and we are midweek, guys. So, whatever it is that you have been planning for this week, I hope you are halfway through that list by now. Guys, let us know what's going on at your end. I see the comment section already filled up with so many persons there already. Persons like Mr. John Jones, I always, it's such a pleasure to always have you. It's great to see you waiting there in the morning, even before 8 o'clock. You guys are on, you ready? Isabella Butters, what's going on at your end? Let me know in the comment section. How are you feeling? What's the weather like? What is going on at your neck of the woods? Good morning to you, Tommy Gibbs. How are you this morning? And Chevon McDonald. We there here waiting for the credible information from Sheridan's work. Chevon, that's what it's about. Credible information. We always bring it. We bring the conversation, and you know how we like to integrate every bit of your thoughts. June Cameron, good morning to you. June, what is going on? I see Sheena Hazel is here. Good morning to you, Sheena. And Alec Boom is in the house early this morning also. Good morning to you, Lynn Fernandez. Up and about early this morning. How are you? How's your family? I hope everything is great at your end. FYI family, we need to spread out. We need to make sure that everyone gets this information. I see Janice McPherson joining this morning. Good morning to you, Janice. How are you this morning? Wills Felix, how are you? Edward Brooms, present, always present. Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Brooms. Lena Williams, good morning to you, Lena, and Riri Mingo Garway. Guys, it's so lovely to be here with you all. Make sure that you do your part. Share, share, share. You've been looking a little slim on the shares. We don't want that. Make sure that you come through. Make sure that you do your part. Hit the share button, whatever groups you are in, and make sure you also share to your profile. And like I shared, always say, don't be hiding and looking at the programming and so that you can share. Make sure that you share the stream. It's very important that persons get credible information. We have tons going on in our country, tons to discuss. A lot of advocacy needs to be done, and we have to do our part. When you're out there, you're doing your part, you're joining the conversation, you're contributing in the comments, everything adds up, especially when you share the information. That adds up a whole lot. So make sure that you share it so that other persons can benefit from the information. I see Roxanne Andrews out there very early this morning, Pamela Johnson and Yvette. Hey guys, good morning to all of you. I hope all of you're doing excellent this morning. I hope you're good in health. This is a major one. Only this morning I was reminded I've got to take some time out for ourselves, make sure that we take care of our bodies, make sure we take care of our health altogether. Mental health, emotional health, physical health, all extremely important. And what are you living for? What are you going to work for every single day if you're not just taking care of yourself first and foremost? Make sure that you are your number one priority. That's just a little bit of advice that I'm giving. I see you, Pamela Johnson, watching from Ithaca this morning. Pamela, guys, let's just go into this a little bit. How do you take care of yourself? What sort of routine do you go through in taking care of yourself? Let me know in the comment section. It's very important that we have this discussion. I hear Mr. Duncan in the background say self-care. It's absolutely important. So let me know, how is it that you take care of yourself? I see Yvonne. Yvonne said, good morning, Miss Beautiful. My goodness, I can see my cheeks getting all flushed there right now. Vesta Hardy, Rajkumar. So it's blessed and safe day. Good morning to you guys. I don't know why my comments is not coming up at this moment. It's going to start coming back up just now. So I'm not missing any of these comments. Oh, there it is. Sean Carter says, good afternoon from London. The folks that join from London, let me tell you, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. And going back to the conversation, this little bit of morning conversation, Sean Carter says gym. That's the way in which Sean takes care of himself, always at the gym. That's excellent. Your physical health, I think the gym does a whole lot, not just for your physical health, but once you're physically healthy, it also you tend to feel it on your mental health and emotional health as well. So you get an overall good feeling when you actually go to the gym. Naomi said, my gym time in the morning is my me time. Absolutely good. Gym time in the morning. I see June Cameron said, share the damn life for credible and accurate. I don't think I say damn right. I don't say it with the finesse that it needs to come with. Share usually do that. But I say it nevertheless. Share the damn life. Right. It's Dawn Raymond. How are you this morning? Stephanie Pearson. Good morning to you, Stephanie. What is going on? Carter says self care, exercise, a healthy diet, and socializing. This is a big one. Socializing. Yes, socializing is actually very, very important when you're taking care of yourself. So I have to say that spend some time socializing. Having those interpersonal relationships with friends and family, spending the time with your friends and family is absolutely necessary and it is important. So don't think that it's not necessary. Women get out there, men get out there, always have some bit of me time. I've had this conversation only recently with somebody very close to me. We're saying that, you know, each of us should have some me time. You go out with your friends sometimes, I go out with my friends sometimes, and let us just have that bit of me time. It's absolutely important because, hey, especially when it comes to your work, listen, in this political life, let me tell you, you take so much time out to go out to represent. You have to be there listening to people, making representation for people throughout your days, sometimes into the night, many times into the night. You have to be taking calls and all of those things. And you tend to not carve out that piece of space that says, let me take care of myself, let me take care of my health. And there's so many times you see folks getting sick and all of that. It just shows that you are prioritizing wrong if you're not listening to your body, not doing regular checkups and all of those things. Make sure that you do your part. And I want to see each and every one of you. You join us morning after morning. And there's so many times I know even you, FYI family, in the comment section, you may not be feeling up to your best, but you are out here, you're listening and so forth. We want each and every one of you to be doing your best health wise. So make sure that you take the time to go and do what you have to do. I see Keshawn Ramjazan is saying drink water and mind your business. But who sue and sue? Keshawn is very, very early this morning. He wants to jump right into this thing with who's suing. So we're going to get to that. Because I found that a bit hilarious, to be honest. I don't know how else to describe it. I found that bit of headline hilarious of Sue being sued, and especially for 50 million Guyana dollars. I see Keith Evans is here with us this morning. Keith Evans, good morning to you. How are you this morning? Richard, Superstar, so let's fight. I'm not so much of the fighter, but yes, let's fight when it comes to the information. Beatrice Selby says, good morning, Tommy and Mr. Jones. I'm late, Beatrice. You are late, but you are allowed to be late every once in a while. Brenda Moore says, good morning, Jaretta Lodge in the house. Good morning to all the folks that's joining from Lodge this morning. Let me know what is going on in Lodge. Regular checkups with your doctor, says Riri Mingo Garway. I agree 100%. And not just check up with your doctors. Don't just do like me, because usually when I go to the hospital, so once they go in a certain direction with the conversation, like I want second, third, fourth opinions. I see Warren Mark in the comment section asking about standard operating procedures. We just get on, Warren. We just get on here in the morning. We say good morning to everyone. We share positive vibes before we go into the information sharing aspect. But Warren, one of the standard operating procedure of joining the morning program is for you to actually share the live stream. So you have to get on board with that and make sure that you share the live and smash the emojis, and you will be good to go on with that. I see Alan Finance is in the comment section there saying Jagdeo suing Sue because he needs the money to pay Annette. I don't know what Alan's talking about. So that's a different conversation. I see it's a Gilbert Jones. Good morning to you, Gilbert. What is going on at your end? I see Manifa Gilbert Jones says everybody can do regular checkups. That is very true. That's very, very true. Good point there to make. And for the persons that can't do regular checkups, one of the things that you can do is make sure that you fall into healthy living, healthy lifestyles, healthy patterns in your daily routine and so forth. We have to move away, and I'm speaking for all of us, myself included. We have to move away from from the dietary stuff that we take every single day. A lot of times we don't eat healthy, and then we want to know why we're not feeling well so many times, why we're so susceptible to so many things. The flu pass, the cold pass, and those things, you're catching it. But we have to look very, very seriously at what we are eating. I see Vincent Booker in the house, Barbados in the house there. Vincent is coming, joining us all the way from Barbados. And Jane Ogle says, good morning, Jarrett and Cheryl. Who's suing Sue? Is a distraction? I'm 100% on board with that. Yesterday we said what they usually do. They identify the problem and then they find a way to go around it. This is them going around the problem. So we're going to get to that a bit later. Malapande says, pace and power, FYI family.
Shout out to Carmichael Street.
Sharon is saying shout out to Carmichael Street there from Mala coming through there this morning. Maureen Coppins Williams, good morning to you, Maureen. Marlon, good morning to you, Marlon. Siobhan McDonald says, and I see Chris Kippins. Good morning to you, Chris Kippins. I'm seeing a little bit of new names. I'm so happy about this. Let me just say, I'm always glad when I see new persons joining the program. So, guys, thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for sharing. Every time you share, you give somebody new the opportunity to be a part of the conversation, not just to view the program, but to be a part of the conversation, because this is a back and forth. You know how we do it in the morning. Whatever we're discussing, we integrate your feedback as much as possible. That's the way we like to do it, because it's absolutely necessary that we not just be talking to you, but we also be integrating how you feel about these matters. And on that note, one of the things that I've been following, you would know that myself and the Minister of Education, we've been having our own bit of back and forth when it comes to the Because We Care cash grant. And I want to go straight into that little bit of conversation, because I noted yesterday that a notice went out via the Ministry of Education's page, basically saying who is eligible for the cash grant. And it's a $30,000. Well, you can break it down and say the $25,000 cash grant and then the $5,000 uniform voucher. But guys, let me tell you, I'm just going to read it out for you, because you know how it is. When we're speaking about these things, I always say, whatever policy, whatever measure is being instituted there in the country to make sure that you benefit as citizens, you go out and you get it. The government is there to make the government in play. These persons that are sitting in these offices, their job is to make sure that you, the people, benefit from the resources of the country. And that is why we always hold them accountable. And we critique where necessary for things that needs to be critiqued. They need to fix things to make sure that everybody gets equal access to the opportunities out there. And especially when it comes to the way in which they're distributing cash grant. The cash grant distribution, since the PPP administration came into office, it has been completely chaotic. And I want to just say that I am hoping that when it comes to the cash grant for the school cash grant, as it is being dubbed, Because We Care, actually looks at who are most vulnerable and make sure that they care about them enough to put systems in place to deal with that. I want to just read who is eligible, because it's absolutely important for all of you joining us this morning. It says every public and private school child from nursery year 1 to grade 10 and grade 13. And I just want to break that down a little bit for persons, because a lot of people called me about this. They're saying nursery, they understand nursery year 1 to grade 10. And then, yes. Nursery year 1 to grade 10 and then grade 13. So persons wanted to know why they're not seeing grade 11, because grade 11 would actually be the fifth form students, and why they're not seeing like grade 12. And I just want to give persons a little bit of explanation. When I first spoke about the cash grant and the distribution of the cash grant, one of the things that I highlighted there in my first bit of correspondence that I sent out is that the cash grant will not be given to students exiting the secondary school. And I want to be clear about that. I said it because I did see it as an issue, and I said that's why they chose now to give it and not back in March when they could have actually given it. The budget was passed in February. This was a measure that was budgeted for in February. However, they're only giving it right now because it's going to basically knock out a whole lot of students. So if you had a child in fifth form, and that child now will be considered a exiting child, that's only the exiting status. And because of that, the child will not be eligible unless, and I just want persons to be clear on this, unless that child now is being registered for the sixth form level. If the child is being registered for the sixth form level, then the child now will be eligible for this particular cash grant. So that is what is going on there. So the students that were in grade 12, which would be the lower sixth class, those students now will be entering grade 13. They will be eligible for that. But the students that have exited, it's just a little bit of chaotic the way in which they put forward the information. But once a child is exiting, once a child is graduating, now that child is not eligible if the child is graduating from secondary school, but the child is going on to actually go to the sixth form level, then that child will be eligible for that. And another point that they noted there is every public school child on a register of a school by June 30th. And I have an issue here. It says every public school child on a register of a school by June 30th, 2022 is attending school and has returned all textbooks. So this is not a bit, particular. I have an issue when you say is attending school, right? So I have a little bit of issue there, and I believe that this specific measure that says the child has to be registered by June 30th. There's a lot of persons that are registering children to go into the secondary schools now, and those persons, a lot of people have not yet even touched registration. I don't even know if registration even started. So there's a lot of students that are not going to be captured with this setup. But I have a particular issue with when you say the child must be attending school. Who determines what attendance marker the child had to meet? Because this is not something that has been made public either. What attendance record needs to be met for this child in order for that child to be eligible for the cash grant? And I have to say, we keep seeing, and this is my issue, we keep seeing policy measures being instituted, going out there, saying that it's for everyone. But then when you add bureaucratic complexities to the system altogether, you open a door for the most vulnerable to be exempted from getting these monies. And we all should have an issue with that. It's absolutely not necessary for you to put in these bureaucratic constraints to make sure that you eliminate the most vulnerable. When you say the children must be attending school, they're basically trying to say there, in my interpretation, I dare the Ministry of Education to come out and clarify if this is not the case. But to my understanding, is that if the child's name is on the register, then they're saying the child needs to be going to school to get listen to me, the most you will see, there is no case that have ever been recorded, to my knowledge, in which somebody could afford to send their child to school and they are just keeping them home. So if you're seeing children's name on the register, but you're not seeing them showing up to the school gate, then the obvious is that the parents have extreme hardship and they're not financially able to send that child to school. And that's why I'm saying you don't put bureaucratic constraints so as to eliminate the most vulnerable from actually accessing these resources that is supposed to be out there for the most vulnerable in society. So I have serious issues with that. And of course, for those of you who don't know, has returned all textbook. I stated very clearly in no uncertain term my principle when it comes to the textbooks being returned. And that specific piece is that I do not believe at any point in time you should mix these two matters. Returning textbooks to the school is separate and apart from monies that were budgeted for every single child. It is not by any way interlocked, and it should not be put together. That has been my principle, and at no point in time my fathers say the monies that are budgeted when it comes to making sure that textbooks are printed and so forth are not the monies that you're looking at when you're talking about these cash grants. So don't think, oh well, we gotta get money for print textbooks. It doesn't work like that. The system of accounting and budgeting in our country does not work like that. So don't let nobody go out there with that bit of nonsense argument to give to any one of you. I'm saying the matters are separate and apart. I'm holding out to that. And I see even now different schools across the country, as I predicted before, are using different methods to when it comes to actually seeing who returned textbook and all of those things, because the system was not set up in such a way to deal with it as it is being asked to deal with it right now. Hence the chaos we will see on that front. And you would know that even a school in Barbados, there was a correspondent that went out to say if the parents could prove they returned the books, then the teachers will be held accountable for those books. So absolute chaos when it comes to that. There were so many persons online complaining, but I warned you. Let me tell you, I do my part. I came out. I try to say we have to have proactive measures when we're dealing with these things. You don't wait until the day of distribution with all the chaos, and then we try to see how we can fix it. We don't be reactive towards those things. We have to be proactive in the way in which we look at the mechanisms being designed to actually deal with these things, so that we can fix systems, so that we don't reach to the issue. But as we're seeing it right about now, I can guarantee you that we're going to have several issues, and then people running all over the place trying to see how do they fix it after it has happened. We had tried desperately to make sure that we are not in that position. So that's just one bit I wanted to get out with very, very early this morning. And I'm saying that, guys, make sure that you keep in touch with the schools in your area and so forth. Make sure that you know when those distributions will be made, Leslie Charles, I see you there, Leslie. How are you doing this morning? Morel King, good morning to you. And I'm seeing it's Bavel is saying there. And I am about to go into the morning papers, guys. Don't worry, but I had to deal with that bit this morning. Guys, the first thing I want to look at in the morning papers this morning is the fact that MP Ganesh Maipal, the Honorable Ganesh Maipal, Member of Parliament, there says he's not certain if he was suspended from Parliament. He's not certain if the 8 members of Parliament were suspended from Parliament. I want to be very sure. Okay? He wants to be very sure about the system that is being pushed through when it comes to the suspension of members of Parliament from the National Assembly. You would know at the last sitting, the Committee of Privileges would have recommended through a manner which we deem to be extremely illegal, the process by which was utilized to actually get that motion to the National Assemblies. I want to say that Ganesh Maipal now is saying, and in no uncertain terms, he is saying that he is not sure whether or not they're suspended. And this says days after the National Assembly voted to adopt the Committee of Privileges recommendation to suspend 8 opposition MPs over the tumultuous bid on December the 29th last year to stop the passage of the Natural Resource Fund bill. The suspended MPs are yet to be formally notified of the action. And this is a big issue. There is nothing that happens that you can just say, oh, well, you read it in the press. That's not how Parliament operates. In order for anything to be operational, when it comes to members of Parliament, very correspondence needs to be sent out. And this is what Ganesh Maipal is talking about. It said, it says on Thursday last, the House voted to suspend opposition chief whip Christopher Jones, Ganesh Maipal, Sherrod Duncan, and Natasha Singh Lewis for 4 consecutive sit-ins, and added Ferguson, Vince Roy Henry, Tabitha Saraba Hawley, and Marine Philadelphia for 6 consecutive sit-ins. The suspension stemmed from a motion moved by Minister of Parliamentary Affairs and Governance Gail Teixeira. This, guys, listen. I want to say, first of all, the time span when it comes to the 4 sit-ins and the 6 sit-ins. You would remember, I'm a little stuffy right now, so please mind with me. You would remember last February, Sherrod Duncan was suspended from the National Assembly. I want you to note that we are in July, and in July right now, as we are speaking, Sherrod would have not been able to go back into the House because those 4 sit-ins span from February right through to where we are. We're almost at the end of July, practically into August. So that gives you an idea of how long the PPP intends to muzzle 8 members of Parliament. They have recommended and that matter is being challenged through the court because of the manner in which it was done. But as it is right about now, they've recommended that among the 8 MPs, 4 be suspended for 8 sittings, and the other 4 be suspended for 6 sittings. This is a direct attack on democracy. This is what you call an attack on democracy, when you are trying to muzzle the opposition members of parliament from even making representation in the House as it regards the people of this country. Is something that we all should be extremely opposed to, because no country that wants to parade itself as a democratic country would ever go down this particular route, ever. So this is something that we need to speak up about. Everybody needs to speak up about it. It's not justifiable, and we need to be very, very cognizant of that fact. I'm seeing Maureen Coppins Williams in the comment section, urging the person share. Maureen, thank you so much for that this morning. I see Bovel is, and Joy Koja is there this morning. Aubrey Lennox, good morning to you, Aubrey. I see Paul Passard. Welcome to the program, Paul Passard. You chipped in a little bit late this morning, but it's always a pleasure to have you join us. It is good to see you in the comment section, dear Paul, bringing your bit of information and your point of view. But Ganesh, my Paul is saying, like I was saying, that he has not received, and to the best of his knowledge, nobody else have received any correspondence, official correspondence coming from the National Assembly that says yes. This is the decision that was made by the National Assembly, and hence we move forward with the suspension. So as it is right now, Mr. Mike Paul is saying he is yet to know whether or not he is suspended. So very good point there, and we await to see if there's any progress or any steps moving forward in that direction. One of the things that we have to discuss as we're on the matter of Parliament and all of that is I see a bit there in Starbuck News this morning, and the headline reads, and the headline says it all, that the Speaker's denial of the debate on corruption allegations against Jagdeo is shameful, and we see it there, and that's coming from the APNU AFC. And most definitely, we have to continue to reiterate those pointers that it's absolutely shameful when you deny these things at the level of the National Assembly, and especially when you say these things are not urgent matters, because, and this is the issue that we keep having. When you have when you have a speaker in place. I'm reading some of the comments. I can't read some out loud, guys, but I'm noting your comments in the comment section. But when we have the Speaker of the National Assembly that has shown clear bias, and this is not something that nobody should be proud of, Mansour Nadir, as it is right now, should not be proud of his record, because he himself, anybody can see, well, Ray Charles, as we say, could determine that the biasness of the rulings thus far. You see so many things being allowed from the level of the government side, but when it comes to the opposition, it is not allowed. These are things that no speaker should want on their record, but I see that the current speaker of the House right about now in Guyana seems not to care about how that is projected on his own personal image on the national stage. So we have a long way to go when it comes to that, but most definitely when it comes to the corruption allegations and that specific motion that was tabled there by the leader of the opposition, I have to say that it is crazy that it's not been allowed in the House. But yesterday there were so many headlines out there about none other than Barra Jagdeo suing for $50 million. So that says it all about the direction in which we're going. We have so much to discuss on that. I'm not even going to get into that a bit about Sue, because we have more to speak about that as we move forward this morning, guys. One of the things, again, that I have to bring up as we're on the same matter is that persons are still calling for an independent probe of Jagdeo, and people are saying basically that it could unearth more damaging findings, more damaging findings. And one of the things I have to say about this is that none other than Barra Jagdeo, when he did that press conference right after his press conference that he did right after the airing of the Vice News documentary piece, the first thing he said is he felt like everything that was brought forward basically was to his credit. Nothing was proven. Persons tried to set up things to make him look bad, and at the end of the day, everything showed that nothing was wrong. But then again, the same individual now is said to have sue, and that is Sue Jerome, and say claiming now that, and I'm just going to get through those exact words now, claiming that he says that his standing as a respected public figure has been seriously injured. His standing as a respected public figure has been seriously injured. This is the same individual that said that every bit of information that came out through the Vice News documentary was in his favor. They basically cleared his name and all of that. So you see that bit that is happening there, absolutely chaotic. And I'm of the opinion too, obviously, that an independent probe should be done. And I know for certain that once an independent probe is done, it will unearth way more damaging findings. And I think that everybody, all the viewers right now on here, whether or not you're in support of the PPP or not, I know the trolls are on. I know that some other folks, I see Paul Passad and so forth on this morning, and all of them have to agree. I mean, you have to be stifling your conscience to another level to not agree that if a probe is done, an independent probe is done into these allegations, way more will be uncovered. So that is something that we can agree with. We all can agree with. Guys, I have to say, a bit coming out of the regional chairman there from region number 2 when it comes to river safety. And we're seeing the regional chairman from region number 2 is asking that, and the regional chairman is urging passengers to wear your life jackets. Wear your life jackets. Very, very, very important bit of information. I have to say that somebody that born and raised in Bartica, that's my 99.9% of my life, Bartica. I've been around water, and I can tell you that sometimes even me, I take it for granted. Sometimes you're just going out and above, you're moving from Bartica to Caro, you think it is just right there over the river or whatever, and you fail to put on your life jacket. And I have to agree with the regional chairman right now. This is absolutely important that we exercise all these safety regulations when we are using the waterways. We do not want to have any tragedy, especially when it comes to persons on the water top. It's crazy. Over the past months, we have been noting, we have been looking and monitoring the amount of boating accidents that we have been seeing. And I'm telling you, it's absolutely necessary at this time more than ever before. I don't know the way in which our society is structured right now. A lot of persons are living in riverine communities and can't swim, as crazy as it is. A lot of persons that are traversing the waterways can't swim. Put on your life jacket, make sure that you exercise all the safety measures. We do not want any situation. We do not want to be here any morning reporting any casualties when it comes to the waterways. And also, I cannot just say that without saying be careful on the roadways. Make sure that you do your best. Make sure that you report persons that are doing nonsense when it comes to the use of our roadways. So that is one thing that I have to say to you guys this morning. And I see you guys in the comment section there. I want to jump back in. I'm missing a couple of the comments. Very, very important. I'm seeing some very lengthy comments coming through, and I'm sorry I'm missing so much of them this morning. I see Trafalgar is it Trafalgar? Trafalgar Williams, am I saying it right? I hope so. Good morning to you, Trafalgar Williams. I hope you're okay this morning. Yolanda Bob Sample. I think they should get the FBI. Well, that's one way to go. Well, we have a bit of discussion to be had this morning when it comes to the FBI and their piece that they want to play here. Anna Phillips says, Jagville. Well, Anna Phillips have something there that maybe very well so, mentally deranged. He is putting people on the same part. We cannot allow him with this. Our country needs to have mechanisms, measures, institutions in place to safeguard it against corruption. The more money that a country has, the more strengthened those institutions needs to be. And what we're seeing right now is relaxing of the measures when it comes to oversight and accountability, good governance, and so forth altogether. And that is what we're fighting against. And nobody ever should be on the boat. No one, the Paul Pasals of this world, none of you should ever be on a boat not to agree with me on this. We all should be agreed that the more money that a country has, the more the mechanisms and the institutions to fight against corruption should be strengthened and not gutted of its strength. And that is something that we should all be on the same page with. And if you're not on the same page with that, then we have an issue. We have a real issue at hand. So guys, Carol Rollins, you just on time asking where is Sherrod. Sherrod is always up and about. He is always here. But since you're asking, Carol, only because it's you, I'm going to say this morning.
I think
only
my mic is
because
on.
it's you, I am going to make sure that Sherrod comes
just
now.
Just for Miss Rollins.
Marine, Coppins, Williams, and then Marsha Harris. Guys, what are you doing there this morning? Let me know what is going on at your end. How has it been? If I've been missing some of your comments, I sincerely apologize.
You better apologize.
I cannot read the comment from GT is it Ronin this morning? Too many adjectives there that is not permitted on the morning show.
A lot of these GT, Road Girl, Ronin, they like this thing,
Too much adjectives that is not being permitted on the morning show. Yes, and I see is it Gertrude Waldron is saying yes.
Gertrude, how are you doing?
Accountability. This is something that we all can agree with. If somebody doesn't agree with the country needing accountability, listen, then you're on the wrong path.
Should be living on another planet.
Yes, they're on the wrong pathway. Marine says I'm on vacation. Marine living the life.
Marine, I want to be like you. You want to be like you. Got to eke out some vacation time. I miss doing what we do. That's quite important.
Loretta's comment is done for this morning. Stop coming and come on time, Sharon.
But some of y'all know you're Rakshas, Some of y'all know you're Rakshas.
Stop coming and come on time.
Yeah. Yes, mommy. Yes, big sister.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, big sister.
Doing that Sharon got sticky nettles.
Once you know that.
I agree with that.
Once you recognize.
I agree with that, Only your friends can know you.
Recognize my finer qualities. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, as it comes to the reader is making a very important comment as the PPP operate as though the taxpayers' money belongs to them. And you would know that a lot of times, I agree with you there, and I have to add that a lot of times we speak about the way in which taxpayers'
body.
Yes. The way in which taxpayers' dollars are being spent. We speak about this so many times, and we always have a problem when the monies are being spent as though somebody's taking it out of their own personal bank account, so they don't have to account to anybody fit. And that's a real issue that we have in the country right now. And again, this is something that there shouldn't be no line drawn down the middle with. Everybody should agree the taxpayers' dollars need to be spent in a way of accountability.
Very true.
Yep.
Very, very, very true.
Go ahead, Sharon. Go ahead.
What else do we have in the morning papers? Do you have anything else? You want to touch on?
Well, you can touch on this a little bit since you are late, Mrs. Duncan. you can touch on more oil.
Yeah. We pumping, folks. We pumping. But
Petrula said morning.
We're not feeling
looking fresh as always.
We're not feeling it. Thanks very much. How much things it takes you to look fresh? I set the ground tea and provisions and so on. But good to be here. Thanks for your kind thoughts. Thank you so much. But we pumping a lot of oil. They've told us Exxon has discovered several new oil fields, but we ain't feeling the thing. That's the problem. We pumping, but we're not feeling it.
That's a real issue.
Big issue. Big issue. When you're pumping, you must feel something. But all this oil we are producing, but yet we're better off for it. Cost of living, soaring cost of living, not just cost of living, soaring cost of living. People are crying out. They heard you talking about the cash grants and all of the impediments they're putting in place now for the folks to receive, the peers and so on. That's the thing. We pumping, but what good is it doing for us? We got to quit sometime because like we're better off before oil. I don't know. Is that indicative of the oil resource course and all of those other things, all those other phenomena they talk about.
It's indicative of the PVP.
Poor management and so on. Very poor management. So we're watching that.
The PVP have one bit that they do is like, and that's why we have to agree on certain things. There are certain things I believe that no matter who comes online, no matter who you voted for and all of that, that one thing we should agree on is when it comes to accountability and transparency, those methods of good governance and all of that.
Correct.
We should all agree on
You're absolutely correct. Can't fault you at all. And it used to be that when you have these oil fine announcements, these wells or whatever,
people used to get excited.
Excited. You say your bank book all. Now people talking to it. Let
me tell you,
suck your teeth, because
the first when the coalition administration was there in office, the whole bits and pieces was put together from there. When coalition administration was in office and we had that forced oil, you would remember, Guyanese social media, we're a different level.
Yeah.
We persons were photoshopping themselves in a car with a cheetah.
Good life, nice time. Nice time.
Walking the tiger.
Yeah, Statue of Liberty and all by tongue. You thought you're before the longer now. Folks, you catching it. I put in some gas yesterday. I don't know, like the gas coming lighter or something, but like it didn't make no sense. I went and serviced back my 2 cycles recently. I went and serviced them back because I can go to a bit of it. Honestly, I put in some gas yesterday morning. I was coming on to do the show. Today, the gas light is back on. Already. I mean, I put in plenty because the pocket and all like that. I put a little something. But it was supposed to at least last for 2-3 days. The gas light is on already.
You got to hold somewhere on
So what does... got to check that. What does all these oil fine mean to us? You're not excited about it. What does it mean to us? All you hear is this base and that base. And
it has the meaning when it comes to the numbers will say that persons will get to go out there and say, well, Guyana is the fastest growing economy in the world and all of that.
Yeah.
But what it does not mean, having oil fines does not automatically mean that the persons that are in office, the office holders, are automatically given wisdom as to how to spend this money.
And that some of that will trickle down to the rest of us. Oh my,
that you're finding a bit of sense to give to some people to say that, you need to diversify, you need to put money into different sectors of the economy. It doesn't mean that persons are going to suddenly wake up and get the knowledge that the non-oil sector needs to be invested in, not just invested in, but through a structured manner. Remember, it doesn't mean that every time you find oil, you're not finding sense to give to people.
It's now you tell me. You're the wrong spot. You should have helped me out across the other side. I don't understand. Because I'm telling you, are you guys excited when you hear it's another oil fight? I'm not excited the least bit. But that's one of the things we're following. We're following some things international too. We want to get through quickly. And then we come to the big issue. You can be with us a little while, pull up a cup of coffee, pull up a chair, share the damn life, smash the emoji button, partner with us, then go down the road. Folks, this is what we follow on the international scene. Nancy Pelosi is due to visit Taiwan. Taiwan, when you talk about Taiwan, we can, hold we head high. Right? Because we just set up a business office in Taiwan one day and then the next day, not so much so. So this is causing quite a stir, of course, with China. Beijing vows consequences if Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House in the US there, travels to Taiwan because they see this as very meaningful. Geopolitically. Correct.
What is, and one of the things, and I want to quoting directly from BBC this morning, it says that this rankles China, which sees self-ruled Taiwan as a breakaway province that must become part of the country. Beijing has not ruled out possible use of force to achieve this.
We're living in interesting times, folks.
This is different.
We're living in interesting times.
This is different. Interesting times. Let us not just take this very lightly. Yeah. What I can say is that Nancy Pelosi didn't wake up one random morning and just decide to go to Taiwan.
Hopefully not.
Right?
Hopefully has some more thought than that.
She did not do that. That's what I'm absolutely certain of. But I have to make note of the players that we're seeing right now.
Tell us what the players.
Because whilst BBC is reporting, that Pelosi's Taiwan visit, Beijing's Beijing vows consequences if U.S. Politicians travel to the island.
Mm.
Whilst BBC is saying that, CNN is reporting that Biden administration working behind the scenes to convince Pelosi of the risk of traveling to Taiwan.
CNN behaving a little bit like Daily News, Guyana Daily News. They're a little off. They're a little off. But we can be following this, folks. We can be following it and bringing you ball by ball
You know what
commentary.
Trump said about CNN, right?
Trump different. Trump different. Do you know how do you hold your cup? I'm looking at myself holding the cup in the monitor.
I hold my cup
and
wrong.
I don't know. I feel awkward. How do you guys hold your cup? I feel a little awkward. I look at it. Like, I don't know, like how it looks better. Like, it feels awkward with me like this, but it feels comfortable too. But it looks awkward.
Hold my cup wrong.
How do you hold it?
I hold it wrong. I've said this before in the morning.
Let me see.
I hold it like this, like this.
Not,
like my pinky is on the.
Well, I got two under. You got three.
I just hold it wrong.
You got three through.
I hold my cup in a way in which it gets to my mouth and gets back down.
Yeah, it looks. I
don't.
You're walking and look wrong, but I mean, I don't know. How do you guys hold your cup? I don't know how to hold it so it looks better. Visually.
It's not gonna look good anyway. I do. I'm not gonna put effort. I'm not gonna put effort into this. I'm not gonna do it. That's not me. Sorry. You gotta go make that person.
You see when we start feeling the oil pumping.
I might be sipping on something out of that tea bag.
We got some cream and some flavors and so on. But the other things we're following, folks. I was just looking at myself in the monitor and realized I feel awkward. It feels comfortable to me, but it looks awkward in the monitor. Some other things we follow in Russia. Well, Russia got in a little thing here now. Russia said they're cutting off their gas flow to Europe. Apparently winter is coming on in Europe, or some cold spell there, and people start storing up gas and so on to buy themselves through this cold period. Russia says, now I can turn off. I want back to Ukraine. Now I can turn off the gas. Russia serious, Serious. So this is something that's happening on the international stage. I know how some of y'all stay. The labor barring light from y'all and son. He said, all right, you want to talk up? Now we're gonna unplug you. You want to talk up? What to the money that you owe me? Right? That's how Russia behaving right now. So we're following this. Russia cuts gas flow further as Europe issues savings plea. They're trying to stock up. Russia said, we're having it. We're not having it.
But what's important is that they're trying to stock up. I think that's the important part there, because I did speak about this. Listen, I try to tell you guys way in advance how things happen.
Shirley says she uses no cup, right? And somebody says all a bottle you can hold it. Ever all a bottle if you can. Oh, use a bottle, I think, if you can't hold a cup. It just feels awkward. Clifton says you hold your cup in the most comfortable position.
Of course.
Sherry, you don't have to put your pinky out. No, truck. You see when you pump it all, you can tell you how to drink with tea. Please and thank you.
However it gets here and gets back.
The easiest way.
It's fine with me. No, but I was just saying that the more interesting part of that piece there is the fact that when they talk about stocking up, and that's absolutely important, because I've said it before on these programs. When we're looking at what is the most innovative methods of dealing with price hike in fuel and so forth. And I did mention when it comes to the more developed countries and so forth, like they have been moving in direction to stock up on fuel for a number of months. So when they are hit with a price hike, they are able to go into that bit of reserve. Yeah. So we have to look.
We are in there, with how the fuel price looking. When you catch it low, you better take. I can stock up. You catch it low, you better stock up.
No, but I'm talking about the country doing it, as opposed to doing what they were trying to do. They say that they're going to take the excise tax to zeros, and I told Forrest it's not going to work. These are very, very short-term interventions. It's not going to hold through. But you have to look at more structured ways of dealing with it in the long run.
Yeah.
And there we see the more developed countries looking at that.
We gotta be thankful that we don't have some trouble some other places got. We got we got our own trouble, but we don't have those kinds of issues. When we start talking about feeling cold, people in the US laugh at us. Say, y'all not cold. I was in.
If your walls are not insulated, you're in trouble. You're dead.
I was in Connecticut last year when it was coming on to Christmas. It was just coming out of fall, I think it is. Am I getting the seasons right, folks? Coming out of fall in Christmas. And one day I went to the back door to pick up an Amazon package. And he speed, I open the back door, wait, I run back in. When the cold brace you, when the cold brace you, you realize, finally, right, he set the bounds of your habitation. We wasn't for cold. He met cold people for cold places. We weren't for the cold. I run back inside. But, we got some trouble some other places got. And, sad reporting this morning. But the Philippines had a 7.1 earthquake. At least 4 persons dead. 7.1. I mean, we get little tremors when things hit Trinidad and some other places. And we got we own earthquake like Sugate and so on. But we in the fault zone. And when I did geography at high school, I understood these issues and the faults and the this and the that. But we seem to be in a good place here where natural disasters are concerned.
Yeah.
Where natural disasters are concerned. But we're very mindful what is happening here in the Philippines. 7.1, that's a big quake, folks. That's a big quake there. And our thoughts and prayers go out to all the folks there. Right? Our thoughts and prayers go out to all people there. And we got 100, Judy is telling me here, she's pointing to a census that suggests that 190 million people live in the Philippines.
109.6 as of 2020.
Well, I'm sorry, apologies. 109.6, and our thoughts and prayers go to all the people
I'm mentioning that
living in the Philippines.
Correct. I'm mentioning that because when it comes to these countries, that are populated to that magnitude,
mega population.
We are thankful, and I have to say this. Yeah. It's sad that any lives are lost. We were thankful that it's just that it's at that
4
minimum,
persons thus
right?
far. Yeah.
Yeah, we're thankful to say because 7.1 magnitude, it's a high magnitude.
Correct.
We're talking about a country of over 100 million people.
But these are things we got to interrogate.
We have to.
The Philippines has a very robust, as far as I can tell, the democratic process. How do they manage that with 109 million people? We struggling here, We struggle. We got 1 million. We struggling to get them light. Right? Under 1 million living. We got 1 million, they say, in the diaspora plus. We're struggling to give them light. Under 1 million, we're struggling to give them water. We're struggling to give them little handouts, little, what do you call it? Cash grants and so on. We're struggling. Then people got 109 million and got some efficient system. Maybe coming back to what Juita was talking about earlier, it comes back to, the thing between your ears, and apparently them boys got too much of that.
Yeah,
right?
You can't pump that out of the ground.
Right? You imagine if you get them 109 million people to administrate. Exactly. Oh, sweet Jesus, is chaos, confusion, powder would reign supreme every minute of every day. Because on the million, we struggle in the year to provide the basic.
Yep.
Provide the basic, So it would suggest that in the Philippines, this little million here might be less than a ton. Right? So what we got here is a city council really and truly administrating us that's struggling. All right? And we say them boys bright. Share the damn live, smash the emoji button, and let me go down the road. Look what else we're following, folks. Look what else we're following. This happening in St. Kitts and Nevis. The candidates file nomination papers for the August 5th election. August 5th is my big son's birthday. August 4th is Barack Obama's birthday. And then the August 5th, again, is the date that the St. Kitts and Nevis heading to the polls. And we've talked to you before about Timothy Harris, Prime Minister, and the troubles he's had with his government and no confidence motion of spending against him. He sacked several of the ministers, tried to reshuffle things, and then called this election date. I think they're a little early. It's an early election, and we're going to see where this one goes. But again, St. Kitts and Nevis, in terms of the regional news, they are heading to an election on August 5th. And Malcolm Brown says so is a 9.2 magnitude earthquake. I agree with you. I tend to agree with you here. 9.2 magnitude earthquake. Malcolm Brown. Yep. Shirley Crichton says she wants Ali's WhatsApp number. Somebody please give her the hookup. Shirley Crichton says she wants Ali's WhatsApp number. I think lots of us would like to have it because we got a lot of concern. But also in the region, folks, also happening regionally, we saw that bankers in Brazil, this next door, they're saying that, democracy is in grave danger.
Yeah.
We don't hear the bankers and business leaders here talk not too much, a lot of business leaders, a lot of businesses feeling the pinch of this economy, feeling the pinch of the soaring costs of living, even for businesses. They're struggling. And of course, that is exacerbated. Oh, Father, big word is exacerbated.
Austin's
in an environment, the thing, my sister, the thing, in an environment where only some eating from the pie. It's a big pie. There's a big pie, but only some people are being allowed. So it's being exacerbated. But you know what? Fear of recrimination, fear of discrimination, fear of marginalization of those businesses. A lot of them quiet. But they talk to us.
Because
they
they
see what's happening here,
believe
the impressions of this world and so on.
because they believe that,
Talk to
they
us.
were promised they're gonna get a slice of the other pie, that there's a next pie coming.
And then Parag run out and say Photoshop. That one was Photoshop. We never promised that. Photoshop.
But what has Parag been doing?
Right? Well, I guess tending to her niece, the one who get catch with cocaine, shipping it, so I may be looking after her.
You know what has she been doing? It's got to go out there and just make these
Yeah.
statements and all of
The
that.
US talk about them. We come into that. US said y'all are convicting people who push in drugs. We watch y'all. Y'all, the conviction rate very, very slim
I
here.
can assure
Yes,
you,
we
they're
coming
not
down there.
referring to the people that smoke and joint.
Yes.
I can assure you, they're
Yeah.
not referring
No.
to any of those.
But as we on regional
Yeah.
news, Jamaica got some issues because they've now noted their second case of the smallpox.
Monkeypox.
Monkeypox. Sorry. The whole like since the last board, I find a lot of things, deteriorating rapidly.
Oh no.
Right?
That's serious.
Very, very serious. Second case of smallpox, monkeypox. In Jamaica, so we want to watch this. We don't know what's happening here. We got our own problems. We don't even know if it's hunger, if it's monkeypox, if it's just the mosquitoes that thing we every day. You get bumps in your skin, so you can't differentiate. But we got to be on the lookout. Jamaica again, the second case of monkeypox. Yep.
I have to shout out Alana Tang for joining us this morning. Alana says she's a little bit late, but
Port Kaituma, the Tang is in the house. The Tang, Alana Tang. Good morning to all of you who are joining us. Good morning, Rowena Cummins and Nicola Juiceberry.
You're late. You owe your viewers a shout out. You're late.
Respect and manners to all of you, each and every one of you. But in local news, folks, in local news, y'all know justice in this country takes a very long time. And protest continues today over for more cops to face the charges in this horrific killing of Quindon Bacchus. Because you know what? The investigation report is in circulation on social media, done by Justice Ramlal.
That had to be that. I think that was willfully leaked. That was
and some more persons have been fingered. I heard in one case a policeman said, "Empty the clip." In Quindon Bacchus. Empty the clip in him.
According to that.
Selena Fraser, how you doing there, man? Good to see you, Selena and Candy Narayan. Candace Narayan. Yep. Candace is a little firebrand,
Yeah, well, Candace's comment there says it's all
Candace is a little firebrand. How are you
right
know that?
Now.
A little firebrand. And Candace says we're suffering from poverty pox. I believe you. Very, very much inflicted. But good morning to each and every one of you. And again, that report out of Justice Ramlal, who did the report on behalf of the Police Complaint Authority, or is it the Office of Professional Responsibility? One or two of them says that implicated more persons. One policeman advised that his comrade empty the clip in Quindon Bacchus, which he seemed to have complied with. Quindon Bacchus was hit, I think, 5 or 6 times. Right? Once his thorax, remember my science days now, his chest, and then 5 times in his back. But yet we don't see those persons being charged. And that is what this protest is about, saying that more persons should be charged.
Yeah. And we have to look at these issues. We have to look at these issues very seriously.
Very much so.
As Guyanese, there's so many persons, even persons that have left their shores and they are in the US and so forth. If there is any matter similar to what has happened here, persons take to the streets and they protest.
Yeah, very much so. Look, Gertrude Waldron talking to you. She has a message for you. Gertrude Waldron.
Okay, Gertrude Waldron says, "I am sorry, but Guyanese knows how to dodge a diagnosis."
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You feel your body paining and so on, but
I think
want to tell the doctor what to tell
directly right now.
You want to tell the doctor what ails you. You want to hear the doctor say. It happens nationally too, It happens nationally too. We know what the problem is. We know, right? But we want a different outcome. We know what the problem is and we know how to fix it, the diagnosis. So get rid of them. If they got a cancer eating you out, you ain't going to go and get treatment. Right? That's the problem that happen nationally. And then individually it has some bearing as well.
Edward Brooms has a little bit of a different
Yeah. So that being said,
sighting of
folks,
that.
that being said, we're watching and we're advocating. Let justice be done in this Quinn and Bacchus issue. Let justice be done. Let justice be done in it. And that being said, we're watching. The FBI is here. They met with Adil Nandalal yesterday. We know he probably was very, very worried. Very, very worried. The same day, them boys overseas meeting with Biden and the US authorities and so on. The FBI swooped down on Anil, right? I
He
think
didn't have any backup,
no
He
backup
couldn't
at
walk
all.
with any
No backup at all.
backup.
I think a lot of things probably went through Anil's head. Anil was saying I would Dundee dance today. I should just start talking. Right? I should Dundee dance. The Jagger would come back as a private citizen. Ali would come back as a private citizen. I would just Dundee dance today. A lot was said. And they're asking for more convictions on drug trafficking. They're asking for more convictions, and this is just after Sugate, the publication of Guyana for Sale and its sister publication, right? With the Chinese talking about how much money they're shipping and so on. The people talk about.
Yep.
The people talking about also wanting to see convictions for money laundering. Charita, money laundering.
You mean the stuff that Vice News spoke about?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So you're saying
Drug
Vice
trafficking
News wasn't wrong?
and money laundering. They swooped down on Anil yesterday. They said, AG, come on, we don't like how this thing looking. We don't like how this thing looking. But I think AG has some other thoughts in here. I think so. Right? I think so. And those are some of the things we're following. So that's what's happening on that front. Quite interesting. The same day, his counterparts, AG counterpart, he friends them in Washington meeting on that side. The people swoop down and saying what they're saying. Now, this is something we're following too. This is something we follow. We saw this big announcement that Felix Austin Police College will be renamed to the Felix Austin Police Academy. Like, what got into their head? I can see people with nothing to do all day long, twiddling the thumb in the office and say, what foolishness can I do today to embarrass the police force? Let me think. In the office, somewhere in the police force, I got about 5 or 6 of them. They sit and this is what they do. They're flicking a pen around on the finger and say, let me see what I can do to embarrass the force today. I don't think we in the headlines negative enough. Let me see what I can do. And the company decided, boom, we're going to rename the Felix Austin Police College. Right? But quite strangely, it wasn't the police force we saw that says it will not be renamed. It is the
National Security Advisor to the President, Jerry Gavayo, yesterday said that the name of the police's Felix Austin Training College will not be changed.
Yeah, it's like in the office, so let me see how I can get in the headlines today. Knocking through the paper, let me see. Felix Austin, it will not happen. It's madness in this country. Like, where is in the hierarchy of the police force structure and so on? National security. What renaming of the academy got to do with national security?
Like, I signed off on Jerry when we had the whole issue with all the talks, from Venezuela and so and Jerry came out with a big statement about democracy. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah. Jerry is like Jerry in the office.
I give you guys Jerry, I'll deal with him.
Yeah.
I'm done with this.
Tell each other and say, let me see. National security. Let me see how I can earn this pay this month. Oh, this Felix Austin thing here. It will not happen. It's madness. It's madness. How Jerry meeting that? Right? But what happens? Everybody deals with anything. There's no system. It's total confunction. Total confunction. So we're following that. We're following that on that front. They said the thing will not be renamed. Well, we're watching that. You remember the issue the president saying about the slinger cement and the steel? And finance minister said, well, he didn't know too much about that. Right? We're following that in this instance.
Correct.
Right? The housing ministry promises transparent distribution. Let me just get this word out. Transparent distribution of free cement and steel. Is your friend getting help out here in the steel industry? Is your friend getting help out here in the cement industry? But they promise it a lot of big houses going to build for free, folks. A lot of big houses going to build for free. But a lot of them private development, housing development, going up quick way. Free cement, free steel, on taxpayers' money. I like it a good laugh. They're promising transparent distribution of the free cement and steel. Take it away, Charita.
Okay, so
make a believer out of me, Charita.
So let me say it like this. I don't know how else to put it over, but when I heard the announcement, I think what concerned me the most is because I deal with finance. What concerned me the most is this ease at which Irfan Ali said, he didn't consult with the finance.
Yeah.
And then and that was, and if you were looking for any bit of evidence of what as to what we speak of when we say that they're spending money as though they're spending their own personal money, that would have been a stark example of that matter. That you go out there, you make an announcement that has budgetary implications, and the only thing you didn't do is consult with your finance man. So how does that even make sense to you?
I'm happy you put it in those fact terms, because it comes back to something I heard you say earlier in the broadcast about an update from the Ministry of Education on the distribution of the what do you call that?
The school cash
grant. The school cash grant.
As they label, because
it is very evident that that wasn't thought out, because you would have an announcement, you would know the details, you would know what category of student is captured in this cash grant giveaway, you would know what are the prerequisites, you would know who can come and get. But every day as there's pushback, there's a little more clarification. It seems to be the same thing. You come and you make an announcement because you want to grab a headline or something like that, and that you hope that the system is going to catch up with you and sort out the details of it. That's the thing I'm getting at. There seems to be no fleshing out of the policy.
But
right?
no, it's not that there seems to be no, and this is the point that we want to make, and I'm taking,
make the point.
Let me just take this.
Joelle says jumbie board government.
I'm going to take this directly out of newsroom. You can say however you want, you can make your own pronouncements as to how newsroom reports, but I'm just going to say where I'm taking this bit from.
Yeah, tell us.
I'm not making this up.
Tell us.
I'm reading directly from what's reported there by newsroom. It says, days after, Minister Colin Crowell said that the Housing Ministry's technical team is currently working on the distribution model for the support program. This will determine how many persons will benefit and the total, right? So there you had this announcement.
Again, why wouldn't you know that beforehand?
That's the point. That's the point, right? You literally heard Irfan Ali go there and make an announcement. And now let me tell you, listen, people, you have to understand what is going on. Ali goes out there, he makes an announcement, then Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Housing, the technical staff and the public start pulling their hair and teeth out to figure out how the hell are they going to get things done in this manner, because it's not something that was planned for. It's not something that went through a budgetary process. Anything like that. The Minister of Finance currently has before the House a supplementary budget to the tune of $4.7 billion. That did not include that. Right? The budget, the actual budget of 2020.
The supplemental.
The actual budget that was read in February didn't include that. The supplemental didn't include that. But Ali found it necessary to go and say that there. And then you expect, persons like the finance secretary so have to put the pieces together. There is no plan. And that is the point.
You know what I see here? Ali operated in the housing industry for a long time. A lot of big contractors, a lot of people in the Ministry of Housing, we hear got businesses selling cement and all these things too.
No, but that's another story. That's a foregone conclusion. Who they're buying it from?
That's another story.
How many persons selling cement are you going to go to and purchase cement? Are you going to go at those small businesses, medium scale businesses that sell cement and just buy off the cement as part of that? Who are you? Who are you purchasing from? That's a whole different thing.
Who are you purchasing from?
I have put that to one side and said that is corruption. There's the friends and family. But now let's look at who actually will benefit from getting the cement and the steel.
I think this project here, this madness, is Ali. Ali worked in housing. He thinks he has a fair handling of it. And I think Jaglio has been pushing a lot of stuff down Ali's throat to sell. This whole thing about reducing food, importing the Caribbean, a lot of that stuff. That's Jaglio term working out itself there. This here, Ali wake up and say, you know what? I got to get me signature on something. You understand me? Me wearing short jacket and bow tie tonight for nothing.
This
is Ali.
I believe that specific initiative was 100% Ali. And I believe he did it the way in which he did it, make the announcement, let they try to help with how they get it done. I believe he did it in such a way because he knew that if he had gone to them with this, they would have shut it down.
He come out there, he said cement and so on. He's like Trump, the last person talking he hears, that's the advice he can follow. Maybe when he walking through the gate of the expo, if somebody say, boss, I got all the cement in my hand and they steal, nothing I'm doing in this country. I'll leave 5 on the street, cement and steel for everybody. I'm going to cement the steel out here.
No, but listen, but on a serious note, right? You hear this talk about this housing boom, right? This building boom, that the construction boom. Let me just phrase it correctly. You hear all this talk about construction boom, and then you hear in the same breath Ali going out there to say no, he has to
if
go
there's
buy
such a boom, yes, why is it not being driven by the private sector?
Where is the economics on it? Where is the invisible hand that's regulating the market? If there's this construction boom that you so claim to be out there, how is it that people have these things stockpiled, How is it that they're not doing it off of their own? And these are the things that they cannot answer. But again, when it comes to who specifically is going to be benefiting from the monies that will be purchased, because in my own view, let me put it over like this. Based on the pattern of spending by the current administration, one could conclude that the manner in which this would be done, the persons that are actually selling the cement, they now would be doing a lot of on the hand, on the table, around the corner kind of deals with this. And I can tell you it's going to be corrupt, and it will require a forensic audit.
If the little 25,000 cash grant handout is riddled with corruption, you can imagine you distributing steel and cement for free. You can understand what's happening in this country.
I can see Colin Grohl right about now. The ministry studies. What this man put me in here?
What purgatory? But look what we're following,
Colin
right? I don't think Colin them studying is why we in Washington. Why we in Washington?
That may be a good thing.
Why we in Washington? I hear you talking about all the business and Sue are in the program. It was Sue getting Sue for 50 million. And Sue was the elephant in the room in Washington. Why y'all think, on a bright Tuesday afternoon, is it Wednesday?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, on a bright Tuesday afternoon, Jack in Washington, he hears Sue getting Sue. It's blows for them in Washington. Yeah, it's not these meetings you gotta worry about. What you see here? It's when the cameras are off and the closed door meeting. That's what you gotta worry about. Licks in the backside, licks in the skin. And that is what is transpiring in Washington. Every photograph you see them in is either a very strange smile or it's gloomy faces. Gloomy faces. Do you think the Americans invite them up there because they want to waste taxpayers' money? You think Biden them got something to prove by showing to the American people we're meeting with folks in there?
Last night, I didn't see any posts.
Very much so, because you know what? I spent the afternoon yesterday listening, for instance, to their State Department briefing.
Me too.
They never featured once.
Like it never happened.
They never featured once, never featured once in that whole hour plus a daily briefing of the State Department. They never featured once, but we're still following that. We're still following that, and so looming, so large. One wonders.
Pompeo would have thrown a word or
one wonders. You get a little tweet or something out of them, a little tweet. Me is treated differently. I vex. Because me is treated very differently. At least you see me side by side with at least the Vice President, Kamala Harris, do the press briefing or something. Right? A little press briefing. How come Irfan didn't even meeting with Kamala? A little side by side press. That's how you know your stature. Right? But you see, the Americans want to come so close to them and no more because of Sue. You think the Americans didn't see that? So when I hear of this suing of Sue,
you knew where it was coming
from. This bullshit. Sorry, it's a morning program.
It's a morning program.
This nonsense, retract, redact, white out, black out. This nonsense here, I wonder if now because Sue is in the limelight, Sue cannot go to Prattville 4, not because they don't want Sue in Prattville 4, it's just for the optics, right? Bank accounts might be being watched or so on, right? Sue now got this money on the hand. How I get this money to Jack you? How? How I can pay out the rent for the rest of the year? Oh, here it is. I can sue you. Boss, look the money. You win. You win. 50 million. This is the biggest nonsense ever to hit this country. and will be the biggest nonsense ever to hit this country in a long time. This whole you suing Sue. Sue was in your living room.
Sue may be sued several times.
Right? Well, you know now I wondering who's who handling all the agreements? And who now has all the support? Who is the new Sue? That's why I'm wondering. Because we know them boys going deeper underground.
Oh, wow.
Deeper underground. Right? And if the FBI watching us this morning, you're going to look into these matters. If you all haven't already been looking into these matters.
Yeah.
You know?
I would say that for anybody to assume that all the looking is being done, now, they will be missing a very start point, because these things, especially that piece of documentary that came out there through Vice News, that does not come out at the beginning of an investigation. Those things come out at the very end, when things are made public. And all the looking and tracking of bank accounts and so forth, those things would have been done way before that piece was released to the public. So whatever evidence that was needed was already gathered. So nobody needs to believe it is any other way. I know for certain that when we sat here yesterday morning, we knew that there would have been something said about the matter with Sue, because we knew that was the elephant in the room when it comes to that meeting. We knew that. So to see before the beginning of the night, in the afternoon, that big announcement that Sue is being sued, finally, it's not been done, but finally there's a meeting that you're not saying that was on the agenda, but suddenly there's a need to sue.
Yeah, everybody knows there's a big joke.
Everybody knows that.
The PPP, the hierarchy, the ministers in the PPP know this is a big joke. This is a reality TV thing playing out before our eyes. It is a big joke. Look at the press conference when Jagger is talking about the fact that he can't find Sue. Right? It's a big laugh on his face, I can't find Sue, and there was no meaningful intention to go after Sue, to serve Sue, to evict Sue. This is the man who says his friend.
Was he locked out of the house?
Right? Was he evicted? I want to see the video where things are being tossed out, real ghetto style. Right? Where you're levying on the things. I want to see what was in this house. Folks, one wonders if Sue even never lived in the house.
That was a transaction. That's what you're wondering.
If you ever lived.
There's so many questions up, and I think that the country deserves answers.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yes.
And that's the bottom line.
And that is why we support all of the calls.
Giselle Chipper wants to know who's serving Sue.
Right. We support all of the calls for an investigation, for a COI of international standard, to get to the bottom of the money laundering and Sue Gate.
Yeah.
To get to the bottom of that, whether they were paying what you call it, consultation fee, processing fee. The FBI needs to get involved in this here.
Riri Mingo Garvey says he even says so far is his friend.
Yeah.
This is gone bad, right, wrong.
Yeah. There's a lot of things transpiring here. This is not easy stuff we're dealing with here, in any other right-thinking democratic country, heads will roll already.
Leon Garbadad is here with the donor. I mean, we're in the discussion about Sue, and Leon went right back to the election.
Now, in Sabbath News this morning, in this meeting in Washington, Secretary Blinken, Anthony Blinken, emphasized inclusive growth. What are we talking about here, Teresa? Inclusive growth and
every day?
Strengthening transparency. Blinken. So Rock can come in now, go over then.
Yes.
Right?
Come on,
Leon. Biden them and know happening here and so on. And this is something to add the benefit, that they were summoned to Washington in this manner. Right? It's a day benefit because the Americans like them. And they got taxpayers' money to waste. And Blinken just pulled two issues out of the sky, out of the ether. He said, inclusive growth, and strengthening transparency.
Blinken said that.
Blinken know we talking about here because
Blinken is listening to FYI.
Blinken know we talking about here because Blinken know that's what them boys are in. There's one Guyana. Of course there's inclusive growth. And of course there's transparency. Of course we know all the names of the farmers who get money, how much they get money, because there's on a website someplace. Of course, we know that the Auditor General started an investigation into the cash the cash grants and so on, and that has already been released to the public, and everything is up and up and so on. Of course, there's transparency. What Blinken getting at here? He's trying to impugn the character of this government.
My goodness,
Blinken is so off with this.
I mean, Blinken did have
strengthening transparency.
I mean, the US did have the FBI here meeting with whilst they were meeting with Jack Dion company. You know,
I can see Anna though, and I see the knocking on the door. Said, "Is the FBI?" This guy here, boy. Yeah, I do all of it.
I told him not to do
it. I told them. This sack is living thing, you get me in problem. This free steal. This cat crash, I know when to put me in problem. You know.
But for the ordinary guy, he's actually building with that, you know.
The FBI ever come to see Granger? If I said Granger, you never do nothing for check the FBI.
I think when it comes to the reports that came out from the US as it pertains to Guyana and corruption, and so it all showed that we were doing way better, and that there were systems that were put in place to actually tackle corruption altogether. And Guyana was commended.
Correct.
By the institutions, US organizations, and so forth, for all of the work and effort that was put into getting us to that place. So they know how much work that they have to do to make sure that they force, and this is not just ask, the people needs to be forced to put measures in place that's actually geared at tackling corruption. And when it comes to all of these aspects of money laundering, all of these things, they're not
corruption.
Willing. They have to be forced.
You're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And we did much better. And you know, I was so heartened to hear Amanda just yesterday morning articulating some of that, where this was we were doing better with trafficking in persons.
Yeah, we were doing.
You know, to hear the Americans have to tell us, you know, we want to see some convictions here too. Right? We want in trafficking in persons, you all know who these people
Whatever
are.
Happened to the very first cocaine bus?
The Belgian bus, 11
Whatever happened to that when they said the machine was broken and whatever happened to that case?
Right? You know, the people found the photographs, thousands of them. We never see one released in the public. Right? And then there was a big shipment to the Netherlands too. You know, people say we want to see some convictions. They're following that. Right? They're following that. We want to building all these big buildings in Middle and Camp Street and Middle and New Market Street and so on. Who put up all these, you know, people want answers to that.
It's a lot that has to be said.
Plenty things.
A lot of investigation that needs to
plenty
be
things,
done.
plenty things. Right? Plenty things. I vexed though. How come the FBI never went to see Granger? You know? How come Granger never summoned to Washington? You know, and told to strengthen transparency, you know, inclusive growth. Okay, Bex, we never get them primetime billing. We never get we own Sugate and you know that kind of stuff.
One of the things I want to say is just I have to add this piece, and that's why I wanted to look at the specific report. It says in a tweet yesterday on the importance of the relationship between the US and Guyana, Blinken said Guyana remains a key partner as we work to bolster food and energy security, promote shared prosperity and inclusive growth, strengthen transparency, and safeguard the environment. I don't want us to lose that bit on
even Blinken know we hungry here. Food security.
No, but when it comes to safeguard the environment, I know, Sher, you did a lot of work when it comes to pointing out the fact that the PPP have absolutely no interest when it comes to the environment.
Correct. Remember, these are the people who are mowing down the mangroves and said, well, we have to have business, so the mangroves could wait for another time. The same people who are going to talk about climate change, and
but more importantly, the same people that has no interest in EIA, you know, the environmental impact assessment.
Very much so.
And this is one.
Very much so.
And these things, you know, the US cannot. The way in which their system is structured, they simply cannot move forward like that. We have cases right now, right here at home. We have the Schlumberger issue there that the residents are suing Schlumberger and the EPA when it comes to that plant that they're putting up there. There's so many issues that we go 100% against all that is good practices for environmental protection. And I have to stress on this a little bit, because I think we need to see, and even Barjagdu himself, is admitting that he did say people may want to take back his, as he said, champion of the art tag, because of the direction in which he's heading in. He has been doing everything controvert to actually go in and towards protection of the environment and things like that. And we need to call it out at some point. And we have to have accountability when it comes to the environmental protection altogether. It is affecting the ordinary Guyanese, and that's why it's super, super important. The farmers are being affected tremendously. The fisher folk, they're being affected tremendously when it comes to these things. And we cannot just push it away to the back. As though it doesn't matter.
Under the last administration, the AFC administration, we got our best ratings on Transparency International Index. The best
ever.
Right? And that's why we
were commended.
And said, strengthen transparency. We got the best Transparency International Index rating. We were removed from the European Commission money laundering blacklist.
Did that happen for the folks? Where's Leon and Paul Passan and them?
The FBI got to come and go to the FBI got to come and go to Anil and said, we're not seeing convictions for money laundering. We were removed from the European Commission money laundering blacklist. Right? In 2013, under the People's Progressive Party, Guyana was blacklisted by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force.
Oh my God. Oh, Leon.
For money laundering. On May 26, 2015, just 10 days after taking office, the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Act, right? The amendment, the bill was passed by the National Assembly 10 days after taking office. Right? By 2016, Guyana was removed from the blacklist. By 2016, Guyana was removed from the blacklist. Right?
Because there's simple things that a country is required to put in place to safeguard when it comes to those things. And the PPP, I'm telling you, the PPP works in the opposite direction.
Very much so. Under the last administration, Guyana received Tier 1 status for our fight against trafficking in persons. Tier 1, right? Them boys told us yesterday, recently, the same US State Department, Blinken in his report says we need to go after those persons and convict who we know trafficking in persons. Under the last administration, we received Tier 1 status for trafficking, fight against trafficking in persons. Right? But we never do nothing. Granger and them boys never do nothing. Right? And under the Granger-led administration, the DEA was able to open an office here after decades of trying to do so under the PPP.
That is true.
But Granger never do nothing.
I see Norris King there with an interesting comment. Norris says a director shared as an environmentalist. Jack only wanted to pretend to care about the forest preservation so he can get his hands on the money from Norway. Plenty money. And
Norris King hit the nail on the head on the nail.
That's what it is.
Right?
So
we can continue the discussion.
The man is concerned with money. That is
We can continue this discussion below the belt.
It's not money for the people. That's the problem. If he was concerned with money for the people, that would have been a good thing. But he's concerned about money, but not for the people. So.
Lord have his mercies.
And these are the evidence. We've been examining it, guys. I've been seeing the comments coming up. I'm trying to get as much as possible, but I can't.
Lord have his mercies. Lord have his mercies. This is what we're facing for. And we will continue to be on the vanguard. There's a big rally coming up on the 2nd day of August. I want you to prep yourselves for that. Real boots on the ground. It's not a virtual rally.
No, it's not.
Real rally. Right? So look out for that. Put the date on your calendar. The day after emancipation. There's a rally coming up. And I want you all to set yourselves for that. We can tell you guys more as we press forward.
That's next Tuesday.
What's next Tuesday?
Yes. I just want Sherrod to be very keen on his timing. He said the day after emancipation. I don't think
next Tuesday.
That's next Tuesday, guys. Everybody
I want you all to know the Africans didn't come for betterment.
I don't think you all need to know. I think
them boys,
there's a certain
we didn't come for betterment. Right? We were brought here in chains, folks.
Yes.
Brought here and changed. We didn't come for betterment. Good to have each and every one of you here this morning. That's my time, folks. Folks, we're coming down to month end. It's crunch time. We're meeting our own responsibility. You know, we ain't got no oil block out there, right? But we got you, which is more important. And we appreciate your support, your love and your support, your kindness. And we're asking you guys to keep coming on board and partnering with us
Marlon,
so we can continue to go forward.
I see, hold on, just 1 second. If I can just pull this up.
Pull it.
Very quickly for you there, guys.
Pull it. Pull it up.
Pull it up.
Shoo. Pull it up.
Okay.
I see Marianne Lavelle and Glenford Gordon. Marlon Thomas. Marlon, I see you there. I see you, Marlon. I feel you. I think I'll call you in a few.
I've been asking for Sher to call.
Yes.
This is a different conversation.
Marlon wants me.
I don't know what's going on there, but
it's good to be needed. It's
very good to be needed. But guys, when it comes to that specific rally, it's going to be at the Burnham Court. I'm trying to get the specific, make sure that I have the specifics on that.
Yep. We're going to post it. We're going to post it. August 2nd. Mark the date on your calendar. Not your calendar. Your calendar. All right? That's our time, folks.
That's our time. Make sure that you do what you have to do. Make sure that
partner with us.
You know the standard operating process.
Share the live.
That we have.
Smash the emoji button.
Smash the emoji. That's our SOPs at this end. Make sure that you follow the standard operating processes every time you come on.
You want to see the SOPs? Look them. Share the live. Smash the live emoji button.
That's how you do it.
Partner with us.
Candace in the Ryan says will be there. Very good. We're gonna.
I'm looking for you, no, Candy. I want a selfie with you, Candy, when I see you on the 2nd. Good.
You know, we should have a FYI.
Man, you talking things, man. We can have the FYI area, you know, just for you guys.
Just for you.
Just you love it.
Put some merch out there for you. Don't worry.
Yeah. Boots on the ground. See you guys tomorrow morning. Make sure that you join the podcast and also this evening in the ring. You know, give Sher a little bit of energy. Make sure that you have him walking towards the Western Union and so forth to pick up those donations. That's a good way of putting it so forth. The exercise is good. Good to have you folks.
Have a